Have you ever thought of life as the ultimate project and wondered how you can get more out of life without everything feeling crazy? Let's dive in and blueprint our day with precision and leverage the power of engineering thinking to master our routines. Hi there, I'm Brandon from Peak Life, and in this channel we journey together as we design, build, and live our peak life. In today's video, we're venturing into the exciting intersection between engineering principles and our daily routines. While it might seem unusual at first, as we go through the video, you'll see that there's many different topics of engineering principles that we can apply into our everyday life. Together, we'll explore how these concepts can help guide us structuring our days, optimizing our routines, and living our peak life. In today's video, we're going to cover the following topics. We're going to look at efficiency, doing more with less, energy management, and eliminating distractions. Then we're going to look at optimization with the Eisenhower Box, the Pareto principle, and feedback loops. And finally, we're going to jump into system design with routine foundations, flexibility within a framework, and how to automate and delegate. So first up is efficiency and doing more with less. In engineering, we're constantly looking how to get more output from a system with the same or even less input. And one of the easiest ways to get less output, aka what we don't want, is to give your attention and your energy to all sorts of tasks, and oftentimes tasks that don't matter. So instead, start your day by listing off your top 3 priorities. In life, it's crucial to prioritize. And to do this, you should start off your day by listing your top 3 priorities, the top 3 things that must get done today, no matter what. This way you can ensure your focus and energy are directed into what's most important. And even though it can feel really nice to get done 10 items on your to-do list, quality and finishing off the most important few items often trumps quantity. So an action step you can take for this is to start your day off by listing your top 3 priorities before you dive into work and starting on all your daily tasks. And once you've written down your 3 most critical tasks, commit to finishing these before you move on to anything else. Next, let's look at energy management. Every machine has an optimal operating condition, and so do we. And it can be really helpful on our output, know when we're most alert and focused. For some people, this might be early morning. For some people, it might be late at night. And by aligning your critical tasks to these times, you can ensure that the quality of your work is going to be the highest, because they're going to receive your best effort and attention. An action step for this is to take note throughout the next week and see when you're most attentive, when you're most focused, and when you're the least. And then use this information to rearrange your tasks so that they align with your windows of peak energy. For me, this is often earlier in the morning, but not right away. So my peak times are typically between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. And next we have eliminate distractions. Imagine a machine trying to do a task, like a lawnmower or even your household blender. But every 10 seconds, it's distracted and it has to stop its operation. It seems pretty silly, and its productivity would plummet. But the same thing happens to us. Every time a notification comes in, someone asks, hey, do you have a second? Or we just feel that cell phone buzz. Like a machine, our minds operate best with long durations of uninterrupted work. So in order to get more done and more valuable work done, you need to create an environment that's free of distractions and interruptions. An action step for this is to designate specific times of deep work. And this should happen every day, or at least multiple times a week. It might be 1 hour a day, or it might be up to 4 hours a day, depending how long you can focus and what sort of workload you have. But it's important to commit to this, let your colleagues and family know, turn off all your notifications, and block any other way for people to get a hold of you. Moving on to the optimization stage. And first, the Eisenhower Box. Just like we talked about in the previous section, it's super important to prioritize, but sometimes we don't know what is the most important. And like President Eisenhower said, most things which are urgent are not important. And yet, most things that are important are not urgent. The Eisenhower Box is a simple and easy to use tool that helps us categorize our tasks based off how important and how urgent they are. It helps us ensure that we're not only working on the urgent tasks that are needed now, but also that we're working on the long-term important tasks, which often have less urgency. An action step for this is to use the Eisenhower Box to help plan out what you're going to work on, and then to allocate time in your schedule based off the Eisenhower Box to ensure that you prioritize what's important. Next in optimization is the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule. This principle suggests that a vast majority of results come from a small minority of inputs, or 80% of the results typically come from just 20% of the inputs. And in the context of your daily tasks, this means identifying those crucial items that yield the most significant outcomes. And by focusing on these high impact items, you can achieve much more results in far less time. An action step for this is once a week to review your past week's items and tasks and see which ones gave the most outsized reward, and then to focus on more of those activities in the following week. And finally, in optimization is feedback loops. In engineering, systems are routinely reviewed and refined based off the feedback and the performance that they had. However, in our life, oftentimes we never look back and review how the last week, month, or year went. So set time aside for every week to be able to go back and see how the week went, how you could have improved it, what you want to focus more on the upcoming week, and what you want to focus less on. And into the next section of system design, starting off with routine foundations. A well-designed system is based with a solid foundation. And in our life, this comes in the form of daily routines. Our daily routines act as anchors, providing structure and predictability among the chaos of our life. The whole point to have routines is to eliminate the amount of time that we have to spend thinking of what to do next. Whether it's a morning workout, meditation, or simply planning your day. These routines set a positive and proactive tone that will carry you throughout your entire day. An action step for this is to create a morning and evening routine and follow it for 21 days. I have another video up here that goes more in depth into bookmarking your day. Next, we're going to look at flexibility within a framework. While systems provide structure, they must also accommodate variability. Life is full of surprises, and our routines and frameworks have to have the ability to adapt, as does the environment. This balance ensures that while you have a great framework, you're not bound by its rigidity. An action step for this is once you have your morning and evening routines or a game plan for a project coming up, create a plan B. If your typical routine might take 30 minutes, come up with one that takes 10. And the way to do this is to use the 80-20 principle to identify which of those subtasks are the most important. That way, if you don't have time for your full routine, instead of feeling frustrated and like you just have to throw it out, you can then have a 10-minute subroutine that's going to get you most of the results. And the final topic is to automate and delegate. In the world of manufacturing, automation has revolutionized production. And we can apply the same principle to the easy and mundane daily tasks. We can use tools and apps to automate these tasks, like paying bills, setting reminders, or even using a robot vacuum so that we have to sweep and vacuum our house less. And for tasks that are outside our expertise or our interest, like even cooking and cleaning, we can delegate these to others so that we can free up our time and bandwidth for the tasks that we love and that provides the most value to ourselves and to the world. An action step for this section is to create a list of tasks that take up a significant amount of time but aren't crucial, and then to research tools or apps or even someone that you can hire to help you out on these. Well, there's my list and insights on how you can use engineering principles to help you live your peak life. I found in our journey of life, we often look for complex solutions, thinking that intricacy equates to effectiveness. But oftentimes, the more simple the system is, the better the results. So by integrating these simple principles into your life, you can design, build, and live a more peak life. Thank you for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, please watch another one and consider subscribing. See you in the next one.